Yo peeps, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk about something interesting and slightly entertaining. A teacher in Japan has been found, I guess, guilty of writing down his students' names in a death note, or rather, threatening to write down students' names in a death note. For those of you who are not aware, a death note is a notebook from a popular anime, Death Note, in which the notebook itself, by writing down the name of someone in the notebook, guaranteed that they would die within a certain amount of time, depending on the conditions that was set in the book. So pretty much in practice, it was you write the name of someone you don't like effectively, and they'll die. Or write the name of someone in general, and they'll die. Anyway, point here is, a teacher did this. He threatened to write down the names of his students in a death note, with the news report itself saying that he even showed the picture of the death note to 4 of his students or whatever. But don't worry, the principal caught word of this and has since made the teacher apologize to the children's parents. Now, what's interesting here is, when is it okay to make this kind of joke? Because if we look at this situation, we've got a case where there is a teacher who is effectively threatening death upon his students. Most likely, if they're having behavior issues, he's effectively saying that, I will kill you. I mean, that's what we're getting when we strip down the basics of what it means to write a name in a death note. Now, the news that I sourced didn't really specify whether or not this teacher was on a more friendly basis with his students, or if this was just full-on teacher-student. In which case, let's assume that they were a bit friendlier, although by the way that this got shown and the way this came up, most likely they weren't. If they were friends, would this have been okay? Would this have been acceptable? Would you have found this acceptable if it's like a guy making a joke? Hey guys, don't misbehave or else I'm writing your name in a death note, ha ha ha. Would that have been appropriate? Because at the end of the day, we have to remember the death note is also an item from an anime. It's just that the significance of the death note is one which means someone's threatening death on you. And mind you, coming from Japan in particular, sometimes you may hear cases where a student was keeping a death note and was writing the names of his classmates in there. I don't recall how people handled it whenever those cases happened, but I'd like to think that it was disturbing enough that people strongly discouraged it, for lack of better words. Anyway, what I want to hear from you guys, regardless of whether or not the teacher has a friendly relationship with students, is it okay to cross this kind of line? Is it okay to make this kind of joke? We have to realize the teacher is an authority figure. Would you be okay yourself if your teacher made the joke that he will write your name in a death note? Will you appreciate that the guy or the girl knows about death note to such a degree to be able to make the name? Or will you feel personally offended if your teacher said this to you? Also, how would you feel if you're a parent? If you're a parent, how would you feel knowing that your children were told by their teacher that he was going to write their name in a book that would usually mean that they were going to be killed? You know, it's like, because it's something that's popped up from an anime, how seriously would you take that? How much of a joke, or where does it stop being a joke? Or where does it start being inappropriate? That's just what I'm wondering. Personally, my stance on this, what if this guy had said, I will kill you, and then proceeded to show me a picture of a bloody knife? Would I have taken that as a joke if I was a student and that was coming from my teacher, who I might have had behavioral problems with? You know, I'd be kind of concerned. I would be kind of concerned. So it really comes down to how seriously are you taking that death note? Anyway, guys, I really want to hear from you guys. How would you deal with that situation? If you were the student, if you were the parent, how would you kind of react? Is this acceptable? Is it not? You know, just let me know down below. Let me know your opinions. Let me know your thoughts. Anyways, this was a nice little interesting little bit of news, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. Tell me if you liked it. Anyway, guys, till next time, I hope you have a great day, and just, to be safe, don't write anyone's names in a notebook that has homicidal tendencies.